Okay guys, welcome to Talking News. We still have Aniah missing, we have Taylor missing, and we're looking for this guy ASAP. Okay guys, subscribe, hit like, but we're going to go ahead and go into this story right now. So police are saying that they are discovering some new evidence on Aniah Blanchard. She's the girl that went missing out of Montgomery. Well, really it's Birmingham, but they found the car in Montgomery. There's a lot going on with this story, and I just don't have time to do it all tonight. So I'm going to run this Facebook Live for you guys so you can, it was really interesting. The suspect, guys, you're not going to believe this. He was out on bond for another charge that is similar to what he's going to be charged with on this case. So what I'm going to do is shut up and run this video for you. I'm going to go ahead and let it in. I want to say good night. And we are wishing these guys the best of luck. My God, you know, I told you guys that men are hunting our daughters, and I just wish my videos were getting out there. And if you are watching them, pay attention. Let your daughters know there are men out there hunting them. Be safe, guys. All right, love you, bye.
The Auburn Police Division yesterday released an image and information regarding a person of interest as it relates to this case. The status of that person has changed at this time. The Auburn Police Division has identified Ibrahim Yazid, 30 years of age, from Montgomery, Alabama, as the individual in the photograph that was released yesterday. At this time, a warrant has been obtained for his arrest for the charge of kidnapping in the first degree. Currently, the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, along with other assisting agencies in this investigation, are actively searching for Yazid. Yazid is currently out on bond for charges of kidnapping and attempted murder from a previous case in another jurisdiction. He should be considered dangerous and would be potentially armed. This charge stems from the investigation of the disappearance of Aniah Haley Blanchard between Wednesday, October the 23rd, and Thursday, October the 24th of this year. Further investigation and analysis of evidence has determined that Yazid was in the same location when Aniah Blanchard was last seen, and that he was involved in taking her against her will. Additional charges and or arrest are anticipated. So we're asking that anyone with information regarding his whereabouts, anyone that has associations with him, or anything to do with this case, contact the Auburn Police Detective Division section at 334-501-3140. The Central Alabama Crime Stoppers at 334-215-STOP, or our non-emergency number, which is 334-501-3100. Where we are in this case is a culmination of 11 different agencies working together to come to the point where we have charges in this case. Obviously, our focus is and has been from the very beginning locating Aniah. But at this point, we are seeking assistance in locating Ibrahim Yazid, 30 years of age.
Do you anticipate he's in Montgomery?
We know that he has associations throughout the area, but we are actively looking in all areas at this point. We're not, nothing's out of play as far as where we would look for him at this point.
When did you develop him as a target?
The investigation, this was recent information, and we put out the information yesterday about there being a person of interest, and then had persons do the right thing, as we've been asking for, and talk about what happened in this situation, which has led us to the point today where we have warrants for this person's arrest.
Chief Register, any vehicle information? I know you released the vehicle information from the surveillance video, but what kind of vehicle may he be traveling in right now?
Again, we haven't released anything further than that initial vehicle, but we don't want anybody to just stick with just that vehicle. Anything that anyone is familiar with that he has been seen in, they may know that he would occupy or be with others, we would ask for that information.
Do you have any motive at this point?
We don't. We're certainly not ruling anything out. We're just looking at all options at this point. But it's we think this individual, someone that should be in custody.
Just a follow-up to her question, did Yazid and Miss Blanchard know one another, or were they strangers, in your opinion?
We've not confirmed on that regardless. We were looking at both situations. We don't have any reason to know that she was familiar with him, but we can't rule out completely that there would have been some knowledge. But at this point, we don't have knowledge that she knew him at this point.
Court documents show his home address in Montgomery. Do you have any idea why he was in Auburn that night?
We don't, and it's very concerning to know that someone that had committed the sort of crime that he is was out and in our community. It's a difficult job keeping our community safe, and to know that that person is here, it's a reminder to all of us that we just have to be vigilant in being safe.
You said someone came forward and did the right thing. So you're saying someone came forward with the information that she was taken against her will, or do you have some video evidence to show that?
A combination of things. We won't get into the evidence of the case specifically, but we do have evidence, obviously, as we've said, and as you've seen, that person, Yazid, was at the last location that she was seen, and then we have additional information that would put him being responsible for her disappearance.
Chief Registrar, did you capture, I know they've got video up at that Chevron on South College, is that, first of all, where you believe Aniah was abducted, and do you have surveillance video of the struggle between the two?
Again, specifically about the evidence of it, we wouldn't get into that, but we do feel like this is the location that whatever took place did take place there at that location generally.
Have you been able to reconstruct any better the timeline between this and her car being in Montgomery?
Obviously, there is information that law enforcement is holding close to the vest in efforts of making sure that we both find Mr. Yazid and successfully prosecute a case. So the things that we feel are comfortable to release without jeopardizing the case, we will. But there are those certain specific facts that we would hold for now.
When do you think her car got to Auburn? Or you got to Montgomery?
Well, obviously, as we indicated, we do anticipate other arrests. So we do think that there's a likelihood that someone else is involved in this case, and we hope to bring that person to justice as well.
What do you think their role is in this?
Well, at this point, we don't want to rule out anything. I don't want to give a false speculation about what someone's involvement would be. We would hope, again, that persons would communicate with us as they have, and then furthering our physical evidence and doing those things. So we don't want to rule out anything at this point.
Chief Registrar, I want to ask you, he was out on bond for charges of kidnapping and attempted murder from another jurisdiction. Is it frustrating? It must be frustrating to see people who are out on bond on allegations of committing another violent crime, allegedly kidnap, abduct, and possibly harm Aniah Blanchard. How frustrating is that for you? This seems to be happening more frequently.
Well, obviously that is a concern for all of us in this profession, and our job is to keep our community safe, and so we want to do everything we can, and we want to use all available resources and methods to do that. So when we see people that we in law enforcement continue to see over and over again, it is a concern. When you look at someone's history of criminal activity in this situation, it is a very big concern to us.
If the public is concerned about low bond amounts, or how can they make their concerns known? Would it be lawmakers that would make an impact on maybe increasing bonds for alleged offenders like this?
Well, every case is its own specific case, and so it's up to us as law enforcement and those involved in these situations to communicate the need or the safety, the concerns that we have about individuals. So, again, there are measures in place to increase bonds and that sort of thing, and it's up to everyone to work together to ensure that happens. Again, we're just we're very concerned to think that this individual was in this community or in anyone else's community at this point, and so we're just hoping that the public will help us, as they have already, and help us locate this person and get him off the street.
Do you anticipate that he's armed? Do you have any evidence to show that he was armed at the time of this incident? And how should the public go about maybe judging if they see him or know his whereabouts, what they should do based on that information?
Well, again, without getting into the facts of the case, just prior history is indicative that this person is very likely to be armed, and so we would expect that anybody should treat the situation that way and contact law enforcement immediately if they see this person.
Do you anticipate that he has the resources to get as far out of town as he possibly could, or do you think he's still likely somewhere nearby?
Again, I wouldn't want to rule out any possibility. I would hope that anybody that would see anybody similar to him would let us know. And again, let's just think back about it. It's about this family. It's about Aniah, giving them some peace of mind about what has happened, what has taken place, knowing that we're doing everything we can to get this person off the street.
Has it made it more difficult that this case has somewhat become in the national spotlight since it first was created? And has it made it more difficult to do your job with this much attention?
Actually, I would say that we've been thankful, and I think the family's thankful, that this has remained in the forefront of everybody's thoughts and ideas. We've had tremendous feedback from the community and a lot of tips and information come in. So we actually look at it as a positive that we've had so much attention brought to this case. And I think the family has really been moved and appreciative of the people that have thought so much about it.
Chief Register, how difficult has it been to communicate this with the family and share this information with them, especially knowing this guy was out on bond?
Well, again, this is a family that's hurting, regardless of the outcome. They want to know where their daughter is. And so it's been difficult for them. You know, we all think that these things are difficult, but we have no way to know what this family's feeling. And it's just our job and our mission to do everything we can to ease their minds at some point.
What do you want to say to anybody who may be trying to help him escape law enforcement or harbor him? What do you want to say to them right now?
Well, obviously, that would be the wrong thing to do. You know, we're in this to bring this case to justice. And if anyone's involved at all in harboring this person, aiding in any way, and if they were involved in any way, you know, we would get to the end of that at some point.
When was the arrest warrant signed?
Within since yesterday and now. It was during the evening hours that we were able to do this, between yesterday afternoon and the beginning of business today. So this is a very new information, and we've been looking for him. The marshals and others have. So at this point, we feel like it's up to us to let that information be out there so the public can be aware of who we're looking for and the kind of person that we're looking for at this point.
One more question for me. Speaking of the public, they are totally engaged in this. They are praying for law enforcement, praying for Aniah's family, calling in tips. How vital has information from the public been to this investigation?
It's been critical. Without that assistance, you know, in any case, law enforcement will tell you it's those that are involved and those that see and do the right thing that often make these cases. You know, we do the job the best we can, but we depend on people to do the right thing and help us, and we're thankful for that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So again, really quick, we just heard Chief Register with the Auburn Police Department. This is the suspect in the disappearance of Aniah Blanchard, Ibrahim Yazid, 30 years old, of Montgomery, Alabama. A warrant has been obtained for his arrest with a charge of kidnapping in the first degree. We understand U.S. Marshals, their Fugitive Task Force, along with other agencies, are assisting in this investigation. They are actively searching for Yazid. He is currently out on bond. Again, Yazid is currently out on bond, facing charges of kidnapping and attempted murder from another jurisdiction. And again, of course, he should be considered armed and dangerous.